you know,
Well,
when you
so
got,
what the Hungarians
people,
were doing was nationalism. What the Nazis were doing was imperialism.
No, and again, I'm not defending the imperialism. Yeah. I'm defending the fact that the German people were angry enough to flip out.
Well, I don't dispute that German people didn't have some legitimate grievances. Of course they did.
Right.
They just didn't. No, it didn't happen in a vacuum.
That was what I'm saying. Is that was all I was trying to point out, was that it wasn't just, oh, Hitler came along and everyone's like, yeah, okay, let's do what this guy says.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you deal with a certain kind of people in academia long enough, you'll find that they don't want you asking questions about how this happened and why. It's like,
how do we
it's just
right. And there was this guy who played the game online, and he was quite well known, and he mentioned in a live stream, because he had a bookshelf. He had a bookshelf behind him, and he had Mein Kampf on it, sitting on the bookshelf behind him. And some people kind of flipped out, like, oh, why you got that book? And he was, I felt, and I watched this happen live, by the way, I felt like he was very fair. And this is an Asian kid, by the way, not white, Asian kid. He was like, I feel like you should never consider anything taboo. And if you want to know history or understand people from a different period, you need to read about people who wrote about them. And if you want to know both sides, you have to read a story from both sides. He got wrecked. And the gaming industry that he played that game for, semi-professionally, blacklisted him. Like overnight. He was persona non grata. And I was like, what the hell? This guy read a book and everybody just crucified him?
Reading Mein Kampf made me less sympathetic to Hitler.
That was my thing. I was just like, holy shit. Yeah, it's not about Mein Kampf. It was about the reaction to the fact that this kid, who was a really good kid, read the book. Like, it was like a piranha attack on this poor guy simply because he owned Mein Kampf. And I was like, the fuck is going on here? And it's been like, a journey since then.
But that's the thing, though, is my black-pilled perspective on the whole situation is like, I don't see how you can get over that hill of.
It's already infuriating. It may never fully go, but I am telling you, I'm seeing a shift happen. That might just be my perception, but people are tired.
I mean, look around. Everyone who even gets close to touching that perspective, like Joe Rogan's not talking about it.
Yeah, but
nobody on the news is talking about it. Tucker Carlson can't even talk about it. You're not getting.
He's. I don't know if it's intentional, but he's dog whistled it a few times.
Maybe
it was on accident. Chuckle, but
yeah, but we know once he touches it, it's over for him.
Yeah, that won't be true within 5 years.
Maybe if you get a critical mass, but I don't see it. Most white Christians, they don't want to talk about it. They don't.
Yeah,
they don't even want to hear about it.
It's the majority of them, but I am seeing, like I said, if you just go by online, even in MAGA chats and shit, there are certain comments and pushbacks. Who knows? Like I said, it's impossible to really guess which way the frog's going to jump, but I think, if anything, I think Ernst Zundel, in that clip I played earlier, he's probably right. It's nothing is going to happen as long as the U.S. remains on top. As long as the U.S. remains a stable empire, nobody's going to be willing to stick their neck out to rock the boat. The second things start going sideways, all bets are off. All bets are off. And that's the truth. And because of, immigration and free trade and all these corporations, things can go really, really quick.
But even if it goes right for nationalists,
I'm not saying it will.
I'm just saying hypothetically. What if it does go right? What is the setup? Do we try to form some like semi-fascist state where we impose one culture upon multiple races and ethnicities, and we try to just I don't see how that would work either.
I don't think that, if the nationalists win, then that's not what's going to happen. Like I said, the likely outcome, if it doesn't end in a war, the
repatriation.
The most likely outcome will be a certain degree of repatriation plus balkanization. There's going to be sections of the United States that are no longer going to be part of the United States.
But I just can't.
Large portions of Texas are going to become Mexico. Most of California is probably going to become its own little nation state, if not parts of Oregon as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually say parts of southern New Mexico, Arizona. A lot of it, it's just going to be New Mexico.
I mean, they're going to take everything back that they have. I mean, it's going to be California,
Viva la Raza.
Mexico.
I'm not sure that this is going to work out too well. That might be what happens, but I don't know if it's going to work out too well for white people.
I mean, it won't work out. I mean, we know that. we know.
Well, it'll work out. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It just isn't. It just isn't. The United States,
but
States is still bigger. You could cut.
I think it's going. I think it's on a trajectory for more and more mulattoization of.
I don't. It's not as common as people think, and
it's not. That's true. That's true.
And people are. I'll put it in my personal life discussions I've had. People like it less and less the more it happens. In my experience, people cared about it less when it happened less. The more it's happened, the more people care.
I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is
you might be telling a story a tranquilizer story to yourself. You might be fooling yourself.
The propaganda gets more and more powerful as the years go on. I mean,
that's what I'm saying is the propaganda actually pisses people off more than just seeing it once in a while.
They're overstepping their boundaries to an extent. Like, people are starting to look at this shit like, what the fuck? The fuck is Bird Box?
Not to speak for you, but I know black chicks that are like livid, like they're mad at the fact that they see white chicks with black guys all the time.
Of course, that's a classic.
Well, they're the
victims in this.
Yeah, they're the first responders, I guess you could say. They're the first ones.
Well, they're also more allowed to. White guys can't say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
They would if they could.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do.
It's racist if you're white to say something.
I did too, but
I only do it when I know.
And I paid a price for it.
They pay the toll. Each one of them paid the toll.
No, this is something different. This is like objected to the coal burners and pay the toll.
Yeah. You gotta fuck a black girl or you're gonna get fucking thrown in the torture chamber. This shit is gonna get. That's what I'm saying. I can't see an outcome where it's not just a bunch of bullshit, where it's just not a mess.
I will say I was in a situation where I was giving this black guy all this shit because he had a white girlfriend, and all the black girls around they fucking they were so happy that I was doing it. They just loved me for this. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Yeah. I swear to God, they loved me.
They loved you for what?
Because I was giving this black guy a white girlfriend all this shit.
What you told them? What you told them?
That's funny.
I forget. What did I say? I forget what I said.
The one-liner. What's the one-liner?
He was dating a Becky.
A Becky.
I said.
Well, I can tell you that you were here the other night, but these other two weren't. The last time I said something along those lines was at a party, and it was in regards to a white chick who was going to jail or something because she claimed that her ex-boyfriend had attacked her, but she had gone to see him and she'd taken a knife with her, so they claimed it was premeditation.
Whoa.
So everybody's talking, and I'm like, well, they can't really prove that because maybe she just took it because she knew she needed to defend herself. But like, I'm just like, everybody's sitting around the fire, talking about it. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. This is a white chick going to jail because she was dating a black guy. Why do we care? And everybody just kind of looked at me, and a couple of them chuckled, and then a girl was like, fair point.
So she went to jail, right? The girl?
Yeah.
All right, she paid the toll.
That's right.
Yep. But I was expecting pushback. Like, I didn't know everybody at this party very well, and nobody seemed to care that I said that.
Yeah, because there's no black guys there.
True.
Like,
no lies.
Yeah. It's really annoying because I want to hear what y'all be saying.
Honestly, listen, I was with an Italian chick once. She broke up with me because I'm Hispanic. She ended up getting married with a white guy, which, thinking about it now, I'm like, at least she didn't betray the race, you know? Even though she was with me, but she didn't betray her race. She actually ended up with an Italian dude, you know? So I can't be mad at her. I say what's up to her, talk to her. But I tell that as a joke. I'm like, I'm happy that you didn't betray your race. That's
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, it sounds like a joke, but the shit is getting to that point where you're having to consolidate your life. Like, you gotta get with the people that are close to you. You gotta consolidate your family. Like, we might have an economic downturn. You got to get with your family, and I think everybody's thinking that. And I think that's part of the reason why everybody's on their toes racially.
Like race mixing. I mean, each other's race. Like over here in Texas, us Hispanics, we look out for each other.
Yeah,
you know, like
I admire that.
Like the Mexicans, like we're primos. No matter what, I'm Ecuadorian Mexicans. That's why my whole stance on illegal immigration now has changed a bit, because not everybody is bad, but I still think we should regulate it and fix it. But not everybody that crossed that border is bad either. Not everybody is a fucking racist.
Well, it's not about being bad. That's the whole point.
It's about carrying capacity, especially when some of these. When Mexico and some of these South American countries are so populated, and it's how much can America handle?
That's it. It's but that's another thing. Like, you got to take, like, everybody admit they're not gonna vote for Trump. They're not gonna vote Republican. They're not. They might have conservative views, but they're not gonna vote Republican.
They're gonna vote for Hillary.
Yeah, they won't even vote at all before
Hillary.
Shit,
and again,
incredible.
At the end of the day, that's the big problem, because from the way I see things, when whites are 40% of the United States, it's going to be what, Latinos versus blacks versus Asians,
and Muslims. Don't forget
Jews.
Muslims.
Yeah, and Jews, but like Jews are always going to try to play 6 sides at once.
We can all gang up.
Well, with the Jews is, once you take out the white people, right? It's easier to tell the blacks, the Muslims, the Hispanics.
Yeah.
It's easier to tell us apart. The Chinese. Okay, chinky eye. You got the brown hair. When it's white, are you Jewish or are you white? So right now they're just wiping out the white race with the whole.
But you can get better at discerning Jews after a while.
I can see them now.
Yeah, I could definitely see them now. Oh man,
I can see.
The nose. I go for the nose
It
first.
took me a while.
Not every single time. There's
different
really
kinds
clever
of noses.
I go with the name. I just go with
the name. The name helps a lot.
Well, the first thing is the nose.
The nose does it a lot.
Sometimes they change names. I found something out last year. I started noticing something. I started noticing a lot of them with Hispanic names.
What?
I'm like, you sneaky little thing, you. Yeah, there's quite a few. In fact, yeah, the Sephardic. Actually, do you remember the Kavanaugh case? The Kavanaugh confirmation hearings?
Yeah,
of course.
Do you remember that chick that they were all freaking out because she did the quote unquote white power hand sign?
Yeah.
She's a Latino Jew.
What?
Yeah, look it up. Promise you.
There's a chick on the Food Channel, and she's she's Jewish, and she's a Mexican Jewish lady. Jew, she cooks some Mexican. Yeah, yo.
You're not gonna make it to the top unless you're Jewish. Like I didn't. What's his name? Freak. I think
I'm beginning to think that at least at the very least.
Why did you criticize him for being a Jewish supremacist for saying that? Why are you criticizing me?
I'm gonna try to be careful and circumspect in the way I put this. I'm beginning to think that at least in America,
it's true.
In the Americas, Jewish isn't actually an ethnicity or a religion. It's like a secret cult.
Yep.
Where it's like you're in the club, kind of like the Freemasons.
Might as well be.
But there's also a genetic component.
Right. I know there's like some ancestry involved, but I'm just saying it's like there's
saying that the circle
club with a handshake, and you're not in it.
Yeah, they refer to each other as the tribe. Are you in the tribe?
But it's not a pure like. I'm saying like some of them are kind of like Latinos, and some of them like.
Yeah.
They have three kinds. They have the Mizrahi, they have the Ashkenazi, and they have the Sephardics.
Right. Yeah, but he's saying you can be white and be in the Jewish tribe.
Like Trump.
If you do the right things.
You can be
it's rare, but it's difficult. But there's some out there.
Like Trump, he married his kids to Jews.
Yeah, Trump's daughter.
She's Jewish, right? One of the group.
She's married. Yeah, she converted and she married a Jew.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But I mean, isn't that where the Ashkenazim came from anyway? Wasn't it like wealthy Jews marrying?
My understanding is that the Ashkenazi. My understanding that according to Cochrane, the Ashkenazis started by a Jewish man or Jewish men intermarrying with some Italian women, and then they moved to the Rhineland in Germany and began more populating. I know because I have actually 2.58% Jewish DNA myself.
Oh,
my Italian
subverted us.
From my Italian side, and it's worse. It's worse. You guys like conspiracy theories. Downstream from my 2.58% Jewish DNA are the Rothschilds. Swear to God, they're in line.
Wow.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. I'm a fucking
Rothschild, man.
See, I told you guys. This
I'm gonna control both sides of this war and come out all the richer for it.
Fucking leftist, man.
That's right.
No, I can't. I think the rule is 10%, right? If you're more than 10%, you can't be trusted, or 15, something like that.
How come y'all don't have a one-drop rule?
I don't know.
Maybe some people do.
See, I don't know. Yeah. I'm a Christian nationalist, so I'll take Owen Benjamin over him.
Right.
Owen Benjamin.
Rodney Martin at Luke Ford. Rodney Martin at Luke Ford said that I'm Polish and Jewish because of that.
Polish and Jewish. Wow.
That's what he tried to say. Because I'm
almost
3% Jewish. That's what he said. I'm Jewish.
I mean,
so some do the one drop, I guess.
This is my problem with the whole political sphere right now. Is how am I supposed to explain to my parents or my cousins or whatever that they're white nationalists, but they're not violent? What am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to explain it?
Well, some are, and some are. I don't.
Yeah, some are. But
it's called nice guy National Socialist, my friend.
Well, yeah.
It's a joke, but yeah, I mean, it's
most of them are not supremacists, and most of them are not interested in. The truth is that most of them aren't supremacists, and most of them aren't interested in exploiting or enslaving other people. They might want to, I don't know. They might want to exploit them indirectly. Some of them, I don't know.
But you could see how trying to explain that, just they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? You already said white nationalists, so.
Yeah, well, the Jewish media does well to smear these terms. They for years and years, anybody that was defending white people was a supremacist. It was totally ridiculous. I don't know any supremacist or
I don't know any either. The only one.
But that's the Jewish tagline, and they also want to call you far right.
Far right, yeah.
And right wing. They want white people. This is what I tried to explain to Stellar to no avail. They want white people to identify as right wing.
And I don't see how we're going to transform.
It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care.
It does matter because there's an underlying, there are underlying connotations that are very negative for good reasons.
But not everybody
antisocial, lacking compassion, not concerned with social justice, supremacist,
social justice,
short on accountability. Well, it depends. You don't want justice for your people. That's social justice.
No,
social justice became being against social justice became part of the marketing campaign with the 2008 crisis. The Jews cleaned up. They have all this money. Oh yeah, we don't want any of that social justice. Do you? You don't want to take any of our money, do you? That's absolutely what happened. There was no talk of social justice warriors before 2008.
Yeah, but we're talking about grammar. We're talking about words. We're talking about what it makes people feel.
They have semantic context, and they give directions to people.
Well, no. When I hear social justice, I hear about people trying to make things fair, and I don't believe it.
Stellar, I just can't. I can't talk to you. You just know everything. It's.
No, I'm not.
You have it all figured out.
I disagree. I don't.
But
I don't
you
buy
have your definitions.
Okay, you define what social justice then.
What social justice is social justice. It depends on the circumstance. This isn't social justice for a lot of white people.
It's just, to me, it's a nonsense term. It doesn't
I
hold
agree.
relevance for me.
I mean,
not necessarily. It depends. No, it could be effective rhetoric. It's like, we're going to make you social justice warriors. It could be a very inspiring kind of idea.
No.
That's what we should think of ourselves as social justice warriors.
It's just not how I see the world.
Well, that's because
we would.
That's because the Jews have deceived you into thinking, into not seeing past our terminology. They've got you arguing against social justice. Do you think that sounds good to people?
Don't they call it pill pull or pill?
Yeah, it's. When you know, and I know that when people say social justice, that's not what they mean.
Okay, but most people don't know that. When they hear social justice, they think, "Oh, that must be a good thing."
They think equality and fairness and I don't give a that's the point I'm trying to make, is I don't care about equality or justice. I care about justice under the law, where laws are equally applied across individuals, but I don't care about fairness or equality at all.
Of course you do. If you didn't care about it, you wouldn't be fighting for
trying to do well. He's saying
they got people focused on this word equality. That's why I'm trying to say that no, the left is a good definition of left and a functional definition. It's not about equality. It's about unionization.
But I think he's
and you try to you can't, it can't be perfect, but then you try to make things as fair as you can within that.
No. This is
why
you and
your
I
mind
are
is so
different
made up.
Because no. I'm not saying you can't have that opinion. I'm saying you are a leftist, and I am not.
Yeah, well, I'm not a leftist according to your definition.
Did you say you're leftist?
I'm a left ethno-nationalist.
By your definition, you are a leftist, and that's fine. But I am not.
But I almost feel like he's taking the position of a moral nihilist.
Who? Me?
No, not you. The other guy. He's kind of saying. Nihilist? He's saying that justice doesn't mean anything. It only means what is operative, like protecting the white race or.
Yeah, essentially.
No, I didn't say that. No,
not you. Him. Yeah.
Him. Okay.
I don't believe in fairness.
Yeah,
I don't.
He's decided.
That's kind of a right-wing position. It would be.
But isn't he a Christian?
Well,
yes.
Yeah, Christianity doesn't always make sense. As a matter of fact, it rarely does to me.
What is? See, that's a perversion of Christianity. Christianity doesn't believe in fairness.
I used to say that too when I was trying to practice Christianity. I used to say, "Oh, well, they're just not doing it right." It's
true. If you actually read it, Christianity does not believe in fair. Let the dead bury the dead.
I used to say that too.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of confused on the moral nihilist position on.
It's not really a moral nihilist. That's not an accurate.
It is a bit, because this is what the right wing does, and this is why they want people to identify as right. Because it's geared to serve people who are lucky and who are on top, to allow them to divest themselves of accountability.
No.
Wait a minute, let me finish. This is my thought.